ourselves with, now that we understand, if we understand this idea of that 68, 95, 99% rule that relies on whole numbers of standard deviations, we also want to understand things that are not maybe a whole number deviation. So to begin, we're going to look at the question of how many standard deviations away from the mean is a number like 520. Okay, and again, remember that we know that the standard deviation in our example is 12 and the mean is 500. So if we're here at the mean of 500 and we go one standard deviation away from the mean, we're at 512. But if we go two standard deviations, we'd be at 524. So 520 is somewhere in here. And the question is how many standard deviations away from the mean? And since 12 is 1, we want to see, right, how when we're at 520, this is 20 away. So how many standard deviations are 20? Well, if a standard deviation is 12, we just have to divide 12 by 20. So the big idea there is we're taking our data point, we're subtracting the mean from it, and we divide by the standard deviation. We see this numerator says how far away from the mean are you, and then how many standard deviations is that, is what the division does. So for us, we can just do that with a quick calculation and say 520 minus 500 divided by 12 is 1 2/3, essentially 1.67. And that should make sense that this data point of 520 is about 1 2/3 standard deviations away from the mean. And the same thing on the other side. If we say 480, it should be the same distance from the mean on the other side. So just as a check, right, if we go 20 in the other direction, let's see that. Say 480 minus 500 divided by 12. And sure enough, and that's one of those other important properties, right? However much we go to the right, we go to the left, it's the same, it's symmetric, okay? But this is just framing our values in terms of standard deviations from the mean.